like to welcome you all to Ananda Village and Sunday service. My name is Ananta. This is my wife Maria. We're very glad you can be here. We want to especially welcome our expanding light guests from Yoga Teachers Training and from How to Have More Energy and Take Care of Yourself programs that we have this weekend. So, and also all of you here for the first time, please make yourselves at home. And we'll begin with a reading from Rays of the One Light. This is the mystery of Avatara, or divine incarnation. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. The Bhagavad Gita in the 4th chapter states, as we saw last week, O Bharata, whenever virtue declines and vice predominates, I incarnate on earth. Taking visible form, I come to destroy evil and to re-establish virtue. What is the mystery of the divine manifestation? Great avatars such as Krishna and Jesus Christ are born as babies, even as we all are. They take human form and go through normal human experiences as they grow from childhood to adulthood. They eat, they play, they may seem to suffer sickness and disappointment like the rest of us. In what way are they different from other human beings? The important thing to understand is that even as they are like us, so are we also like them. Their realization can be ours too. They come on earth to show us our own divine potential. The difference lies not in the manner of their manifestation on earth, but in the consciousness with which they are born. All things are condensations, so to speak, of the cosmic vibration, Om, described by St. John's Gospel as the Word. Most human beings, however, are unconscious of their divine origin. The avatars, on the other hand, come consciously as manifestations of that divine reality. As the Gospel says in the 1st chapter, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om, Om, Om.
I'd like to read from Yogananda's Whispers from Eternity, and this is Prayer Demand for Illumination. O Spirit, beloved Father, Oversoul of the universe, Spirit of spirits, Friend of friends, teach me the mystery of my existence. Teach me to worship Thee in breathlessness and in deathlessness. In the fire of devotion, burn away my ignorance. In the stillness of my soul, come, Spirit, come. Possess me and teach me to feel Thy immortal presence in and around me. Come, Spirit, come. Come, Spirit, come. So I'd like to welcome all of you as well. Our topic today is the divine incarnation. And I think it was I know it was the late 80s. I'm not sure exactly what date. But Ananda had just acquired the community, the residential community, our first one in an urban area in Palo Alto. A lot of you were probably there. People came from all over to celebrate. Swami Kriyananda was there. A large stage was constructed in the courtyard there. And he came up, and the first thing he said, I'll just paraphrase it, but he said, we have here this community because of the will of Babaji. He didn't say of God, although it was. He didn't say of Yogananda, which is what we might expect, and of course it was. But he said, this is manifest through the will of Babaji. Babaji, one of our line, the Mahavatar, the great avatar. The avatar, Yogananda said, present time, he is in the Himalayas, in communion with Christ, emanating vibrations of harmony, of unity, to speed forward the evolution of humankind. And even so, Yukteswar, he said of this great Mahavatar, this avatar who supports all the other avatars in their missions and doings on this planet and in all creation, Yukteswar said, the state of Babaji's consciousness is incomprehensible. It is inconceivable. Well, what do we do? What do we do? Our line of gurus here, each of them is avatar. Christ, Babaji, Lahiri, Yukteswar, Yogananda. And in the autobiography, Yogananda spoke also of Krishna, of Rama, of Buddha, of Patanjali, of Agastya. All of these, directly and indirectly, are very strongly affiliated and working with and through our path, our teachings, our lives. So how do we get close to that consciousness which is incomprehensible? A number of years ago in India with pilgrims from Sacramento, we were one day at the home of the son of Mira Ghosh. These are relatives and family of Yogananda's. And we were in Dhrulav's home. And I was seated on a bed. It either belonged to Yukteswar or he had slept in it. I can't remember exactly which. But I was seated there on the bed. There was no one there, and I was before an open window, and it was that wonderful Indian breeze, and the curtains were moving, and all of the sounds of India were all around me and coming through that window. And all of a sudden I felt anew the scope of Yogananda's mission, his coming to the West and awakening true hearts. And then, isn't it amazing, our going to India as yogis and taking and sharing these teachings with Indian yogis. And it was just such a profound understanding. We get, as we open ourselves, we just keep understanding it more and more deeply, this big, big picture. And I was meditating on that and feeling that unity and that scope of his work and thinking of the avatar. They come into this world and they come fully awake in God already. They come fully awake in God, whatever the human drama, whatever the overcoat that they have put on. And they come to alleviate suffering. They come to alleviate the exactions of karma. They come to give redemption in the fullest sense of the word. And as Swamiji said in the reading this morning, it doesn't matter their manifestation. It doesn't matter in and of itself their role even, no matter how great and no matter how much the vehicle for what they're really trying to do. They may come in as a king. They may come in as a warrior. Yogananda spoke of his incarnation as William the Conqueror. They may come in as the son of a carpenter, as was the case in the life of Jesus Christ. They may come in born to parents imprisoned, as was the case of Krishna, his parents imprisoned by the evil king of the day. And so in whatever way they come in to bring that message of unity, to do things like bringing East and West together, a noble cause that'll move evolution forward. But they come forward, they come into this incarnation for the individual soul and for all souls. Yukteswar, in describing the state of an avatar, he said, they cast no shadow, they leave no footprint. Now this is an interesting thing, it's a curious thing to wonder at. We're all looking around and any shadows, any footprints. And and these are symbols of their freedom from material consciousness, the material limitations of this plane. But there is so much more than this, even these little outward things. Yogananda says that the avatar comes in able to take with him as many souls as so desire to God. Not just a handful, not just one or two of the really, really, really good ones, but as many of soul that wants to go to God. That is their work. That is their mission. So the bus isn't going to fill up. The driver's not going to come out and say, sorry, no room for you. Every single one of us, every single soul on this planet, on many, many planets, who wants to know God, that is the mission of the avatar. And that's what we really have to take note of, because we are all being welcomed. We are being invited into that journey. Yogananda said in his beautiful poem, God's Boatman, he said, I will come back again and again and again, even for one, even for that last one. And so that is assured, that is our spiritual destiny. But even so, to be in that place of readiness, to be that one, to be all of those that God will take, that the avatar will bring to God, there needs to be a closeness to that consciousness on our part. And I don't want to take issue with Yukteswar's words. I have the deepest respect for this great avatar of wisdom. But I don't think he is saying we shouldn't try to be close in consciousness to that state. It may seem elusive, it may seem incomprehensible, but we can begin to access that state in a very real way. As the reading says in the Gita this morning, when virtue declines, vice predominates. This isn't a reference only to the world in which we live. It's not just when things get real yucky out there that the avatar comes, but the avatar comes and can come also when in our minds virtue declines and vice predominates. It's not that we're going to hold this conglomeration of evil thoughts, but even when we move slightly towards negativity, when we move slightly towards limitation or get into a mood, this is the opportunity to seize God. This is the opportunity to claim God, to be close to the avatar, to be close to that consciousness, and to not let that thought get strong within us, that in that mood, in that negativity, in that limitation, that God is far away. Yogananda said every day we should look at our behavior. And if we see what we are becoming and we don't like it, then he says, change it, and open up to that consciousness of avatar. Take the next step to do it differently, to correct it right in that moment, and to feel that it can be corrected, and to walk forward and then leave the rest behind, and not wait for some point far off in the future when we figure it out and can do it automatically. We'll get to that place when each time observing our behavior, watching what we're becoming, not liking what we just said, to change it, to do something different. In Swamiji's life, well, he said in these readings, he said, we must, and perhaps it was in Promise, but Promise of Immortality, but he said we need to live more in the consciousness of our divine origin. To live, he says, that's what differentiates the avatars, because they know that, they claim that, they live in that. That's their reality. And that's really the only difference. So for us to spend more time to live more in that consciousness of our divine origin, we're so quick to say, oh, I was born here and I grew up there and this is what I did and this is where I studied and this is my job and this is my training. But to live more in that consciousness of our divine origin in Om. Swamiji said when he first heard that sound, he said, It so thrilled him that he knew he could listen to Om for all eternity and he would never, ever get tired of it. That Om that Jesus speaks of as the comforter, that's our home, that vibration. And our familiarity, our awareness of that vibration truly is the most comforting thing. Anything else could go on out here in this wild world in which we've incarnated. But when we know that just a little bit, it's okay. It's all okay. And to live more in that consciousness. I remember a few years ago speaking with Sudarshana. She's one of the grandchildren of Hare Krishna Ghosh, again, Yogananda's family. And a young girl, and people were asking, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to school? Are you going to get married? Where are you going to live? All of this. And she said, I want to live here forever. And it's Yogananda's home. It's a powerful place. In that attic room, he said, this is where I found God. But to me, she was saying much more than that. She was saying, I want to live in this consciousness all of the time. And it was very inspiring to me. I remember it very, very well. It was really a gift. And so to live more in that consciousness of our divine origin and to try to live in that awareness of the avatar in each one of us. Again, perhaps something incomprehensible on a certain level, and yet we have to claim that for ourselves and we have to try to live in that consciousness. I've seen Swamiji so many times. He'll have maybe it's a direction, a word, a conclusion about something, a course of action, of behavior, and maybe it'll go on for a while. And then he'll make that move to the left or the right. Sometimes he'll completely turn around and head the other way. And we can look at him doing that and we can say, maybe we think, wow, he finally got it. Maybe we do. Maybe we think, oh, wow, why did he do that? Or, which is a good question to ask. But much, much more important, all of the outward elements of it don't really matter at all. What's more important is that Swamiji is living a life and he goes along and every minute of the way he is trying to tune in to that avatar of that consciousness within his own being. That's incredible to observe that. And to miss that and see all the outward part of it is to miss the most priceless lesson of all. To be able to watch somebody trying to live in every moment in the consciousness of Avatar. Not saying I am the great Avatar, I am the great Guru, but just trying to live in that consciousness, which is to say to live right in God. And we are all trying to get it right in God. And so to live in that consciousness and to keep asking that consciousness because it exists inside of each one of us. We have this wonderful line of masters, of gurus, of God-realized beings, of avatars. What a unique incarnation this is. What a unique incarnation. What a unique opportunity. And none of them are standing outside of our lives saying, I did it, you can't. You're saying, I did it, and you can do it, and I'm going to help you do it. And there they are. They'll take each one of us who wants that consciousness, wants that reality to God. A young friend of ours who had just received Kriya recently, and after it he said, the minute I got that technique, it was familiar. I've done this before. It was so moving, all of us. That divine origin is who we are. That's our reality. That's where we've come from. And just trying to, day by day, remind each other of that. That's what we are. We're great mirrors for for each other. Not what we have attained, but what God is realizing through each one of us, bringing us to that state, bringing us to our true home in Him. Thank you.
Lift up to the Lord.